Tricia Rand, Pharmacology Instructor and Paramedic Program Director at Ames Community College. Today we're going to learn how to calculate weight-based drug infusions. This typically involves the drug dopamine. You may want to view my concentration video before proceeding with this one. It is important to understand how to properly calculate your drip rate when giving dopamine because it is a powerful drug that could easily cause harm if miscalculated. The formula we are going to use is desired dose times weight times drop factor divided by concentration. Desired dose may be in either milligrams or micrograms. Weight needs to be in kilograms, and the concentration needs to be in milliliters. The drop factor will always be 60, since you should always use a microdrip to infuse dopamine. Dosages for dopamine range from 5 to 20 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Lower doses primarily have renal effects. Medium doses have beta-1 or cardiac effects. And high doses have alpha effects. I remember this by saying, dope in the dirt, beta in the basement, and alpha in the attic. The dirt is the lowest part of the house, the basement is in the middle, and the attic is the highest. Let's work on the concentration of dopamine first. This number will go into the lower part of the equation. Normally, we mix dopamine by adding 400 milligrams of dopamine to 250 milliliters of fluid. This is the same as mixing 1,600 milligrams of drug to 1,000 milliliters. 1,600 milligrams in 1,000 milliliters is the equivalent of 16,000 micrograms in 1,000 milliliters. Reduce this down to 1 milliliter to get a concentration of 1,600 micrograms per milliliter. So on our equation, we will place 1,600 micrograms per milliliter into the bottom slot. Now let's just say that you want to give a dose of 10 micrograms because you're interested in the beta or cardiac effects. We will place 10 into the first slot on the upper portion of the equation. Next, we need to determine the patient's weight in kilograms. Let's say that your patient weighs 220 pounds. To convert this to kilograms, you need to divide 220 by 2.2. This is 100 kilograms. Place that number in the next slot of the equation. Finally, we need to figure out the drop factor. When we give dopamine, we always use a microdrip infusion set. A microdrip delivers 60 drops for every milliliter of fluid. So in the last slot of the equation, plug in 60. Now multiply the top three numbers, that is 10 times 100 times 60. This gives us 60,000. We know that the bottom number is 1,600, so your equation is now 60,000 over 1,600. Dig out your handy calculator, and you will get an answer of 37.5. So what does that mean? It means that if you want to give your patient dopamine at a dose of 10 micrograms per kilogram per minute, then you would need to set your drip rate at 37.5 drops per minute. Ready for one more? This time you're going to give a dose of 5 micrograms per kilogram per minute. The patient weighs 180 pounds, and you're going to, of course, use a microdrip set. The concentration will be the same, 1,600 micrograms per milliliter. Let's convert the weight first. 180 pounds divided by 2.2 gives us 81.8 kilograms. To make it cleaner, we will just round it to 82. So let's plug these numbers into the equation. The dose is 5, the weight is 82, and the drop factor is 60. And finally, the concentration is 1,600. Multiply 5 times 82 times 60 to get 24,600. Divide 24,600 by 1,600 and you will get 15. So you're going to set the drip rate at 15 drops per minute in order to give your patient a dopamine dose of 5 micrograms per kilogram per minute. So you see, dopamine calculations aren't so hard after all. Watch for more great pharmacology videos from the AIMS Paramedic Program. And if you're interested in a great paramedic school, visit our website at www.aims.edu.